Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream on the channel. Today will be our game week 7 deadline stream. Just to note, do let me know if you can hear and see me. I've had an infuriating time setting this up, lads. First, let me make it so you can see my screen as usual. Oh lads, I can't tell you the hassle I had setting this up. My god, that was honestly painful. Do let me fix this. I'm trying to make it so I'm in shot. Enough 2 seconds. I should be a bit better. But lads, again, for anyone that doesn't know, there is currently a storm across the UK and Ireland. And while trying to put the stream on, you wouldn't believe this. So half an hour before the stream, I usually start to set up the stream. By the way, good morning or good evening this time around on a Friday to everyone in chat. Do show your face. But I usually set up stream half an hour before, and what I do is I put up the camera, make sure everything's plugged in, we have the laptop up and running, and there's not an open that shouldn't be open. But this time around, usually I open the fancy Premier League screen and try connect it to the stream, and the website was not working. And I spent the last 15 to 20 minutes trying to connect it, and it would not work for me. So the solution I've come up with is I'm currently on hotspot, which might work out in the long run, because if the storm does knock off any power, then we should be fine. But hello everyone in chat, good to see you. Say hello, show face. I hope we're all well. Still inside the top 100k since the last time we streamed, lads. Absolutely phenomenal feat. Only 2 returns last game week from my players, which was unusual, but nonetheless, we are still somehow in the top 100k. Let me quickly bring up my team. By the way, this is how it's looking, because I've been fighting against the FPL gods trying to display this on stream. But anyway, I hope that looks fine, lads. Let me quickly pop out chat actually while I'm on it. 2 seconds, guys. Sorry. This is usually done before chat, but like I said, we are having some technical difficulties. But I think we are currently good to go. Again, appreciate all of you for dropping in and letting me know if we're all good. And I'll get to chat in just a second. I just want to make sure everything is okay. I want to get the overlay for the chat working as well, so I can see you guys in front of me. So I think we're good. All right, perfect, lads. I do apologize. Where was I? Okay. FPL Banner with the first membership of the channel of the game week 7 deadline stream. Appreciate you, Banner. Do drop me your number and I will get you added to the WhatsApp. I do appreciate you joining a cup of chai. Again, for anyone who is unfamiliar, we have a group chat on WhatsApp. Again, not an exclusive. I do show my team every single week, but if you want a tight-knit community, be sure to join. So let me get to the chat before I quickly discuss my team. By the way, I think my team is absolutely phenomenal this week. Hello, Sleepy. Good to see you. We got George in here. Who else we got? Connor. Hello, Connor. Hotspot to save the day. Irish weather, never reliable. Absolutely. Choi, do you think it is worth a bench boost with Enjoy, Anderson, Dubravka, Esteve? No, I wouldn't bench boost with double Burnley this game week, I don't think. Enjoy and Anderson, though, might make it work, actually. So, yeah, I would, that particular bench. But, yeah, FBL Banner, thank you so much for becoming a member. It means a lot. I mean, early days to becoming a member at this very, very start of the stream, setting us off well, even though we've had a lot of technical difficulties. I can barely speak because how stressed I am. I can't tell you the stress that just put me through. New Zealand time zone put me through it. Yeah, that is so unfortunate, man. Is that the order you're going to play your bench? Yes, it is. So, let me quickly run through my team and let you guys know where my head is at. Now that I've calmed down. Actually, let me have a quick swig of water before we get into this. Okay. I'm ready to go, lads. I do apologize. Sorry. So, where am I at? So, on goal, we've got Robert Sanchez. Again, I'm sure a lot of you guys would have watched my team selection / transfer plans, but I feel like my team going into this game week is great. I mean, we've double Spurs with Leeds away, double Brentford with double City with Brentford away, double United with Sunderland at home, and double Villa with Burnley at home. And I'm looking to bring out Cody Gakpo and bring in one of Matheus Cunha or Arabeshe Eze. Now, first things first, let's do a poll. I want to see where your guys are at in terms of what I should do. I know what the general consensus is going to be. I think it is quite obvious if you're not as rogue as I am. I actually can't tell you the difficulties I have. I can't even read chat like. Chat. I'm so sorry because I'm trying to make this an easy watch, but I'm actually just struggling with everything here. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just trying to put up a poll. I guess it's going to be no poll, lads. Because it is just not function. There you go, finally. Okay, anyway, like I was saying. Let's do a poll. Who would you bring in from my own team? Let's do Gakpo to... By the way, I hope you've been enjoying the consistency, lads, on the streams. And also on the videos. I've been trying my best. But yeah, let's get that poll up. That's my dilemma for this game week. That's the first thing. A lot of people are doing Gakpo to Gordon. Yeah, Gakpo was one that I've always spoken to get rid of this particular game week. I knew I was going to do it weeks ago. And recently, if anyone watched my transfer plans video, I did talk about moving to Anthony Gordon. So definitely a move I like. He is on penalties, confirmed, and such a nice differential if you can go there. I was hoping you'd have the cojones to go Bruno. I won't need to go and have the cojones to go captain on Bruno if I bring in Matheus Cunha. I feel like triple up on United is statement enough. I don't think I need any more cojones than that personally. Davis is going Gakpo to Saka. Love that, Davis. It's mad because no one will approve of the triple United. Not even I kind of approve of it. But going into a singular game week with Sunderland at home and wildcard next week. I am wildcard next week, lads. I mean, that's the main thing. I feel like it could be a nice play. And no one is going to have triple United. I don't even think people who are 11 million rank will have triple United. Are you going no Arsenal? So, don't get me wrong. Arsenal is amazing this game week. I don't doubt that at all. But I'm trying to think, is it going to be a 75-minute Eze? Is Arteta going to play him fully before the international break with 90 minutes? I somehow think not. Versus Matheus Cunha, who I think is almost certain to get 90. There are two players for United who are certain to get 90, and I think that's Cunha when he's fit and also Bruno Fernandes. I don't think you can say that about any other position on that pitch for United, even if centre-halves get rotated. Yeah, it's nothing to do with Sunderland being poor. I just feel like when a bottom 3 team comes to his top 6 team, and it's a home fixture for that top 6 team. Again, it's nothing to do with Sunderland, lads. And for example, what I spoke about, my argument was, you know, if it was Spurs, if it was City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, of course, and it's a home fixture against any of the bottom 3, I'll be looking at going with one of their options as captain. I would target those teams, not necessarily captain, sorry. But yeah, if Bruno's on more form at this point in the season, I would be throwing the armband on him. It's more of a confidence thing for me why I'm not going there. Of course, missing 2 penalties, and I feel like he was woeful versus who did they play? Brentford last week. So that's what kind of swung it for me. I'd be more inclined to do it if that wasn't the case. But unfortunately it is. Are you planning on Salah and Haaland or a more balanced bench? So yeah, this is going to be interesting. By the way, do stay tuned. I'm going to have lots of wildcard videos coming next week. Hello Yelena, how are you? Can't wait to see what you've cooked up on your wildcard. Yeah, no, I'm excited as well, Yelena. I think it is going to be an interesting week for myself. And what I love about it is, from the start of the season till now, it kind of reminds me of that previous season where we done really well. But I've been able to do everything I wanted to. Nothing has changed my mind this season. Every single transfer I've made has been the one I've wanted to do, and it's been one that no one has done. Even the very first game week where I've went Haaland over Salah. It's made for such interesting weeks, and as the weeks go on, I'm watching these games and I'm believing in what I'm doing, and it's coming into tuition. Now, a lot of luck, of course, but that's the nature of the game. I don't know if there's necessarily anything to risk with Nico Williams. I'm expecting nothing from him. But yes, Wildcard 8 is going to be fun. I am planning to answer your question on having Haaland and Salah. For me, I think it is a no-brainer. Due to the fixtures in 13, 14, 15. Haaland plays Leeds at home. Salah plays Sunderland at home. West Ham is in there for Salah. I just feel like there will come a point in the season where everyone is going to want both. And in terms of bench, the way I think I'm going to do it is keep myself flexible with the 6 million and unders. Sure, we might have a Sar, an Enzo at 6.7. But I think it is likely you're going to see an Elliot Anderson in my team or a Caicedo. So I think that's how I'm going to keep myself flexible with a bit of depth in the bench. And I think going forward, this is the most congestion we're going to see in the Premier League season. Due to the most English teams being in Europe this season. Of course, we have Palace in the Conference League, Villa in the Europa League, and Forest in the Europa League as well. I mean, there are going to be a lot of teams who are going to struggle with the quick turnaround. So I feel like I'm going to want a lot of depth on my bench, and that's just me personally. I understand if you don't want to go there. Again, especially if you're going Haaland and Salah, it could be quite tough to fit in both. Yeah, Davis, I have given thought to Sanchez in Dubravka. But for me, I think it is more likely that Sanchez picks up some save points in this game versus Liverpool. I think both concede for sure, 10 million %. It's just a matter of who's going to get more saves. And for me, you can look at it both ways. Sure, you might play Dubravka because Villa haven't been creating too many chances. Well, therefore, he's not going to get too many save points then. But at the same time, I still expect Villa to score. In comparison to Chelsea in general, they're missing a lot of key defenders. I feel like Sanchez is going to definitely concede a lot more shots. But yeah, it's close. I don't think there's much in it. And it could be a big swing, but for me, Sanchez this week. Liam, good to see you, my man. I thought you couldn't make the stream. He says, I'd go Eze over Kuna for sure. Yeah, I think it is the point that I've got double United already. And also, I mean, Arsenal are much better than United. But the reason I'm so inclined to go Kuna is I think he, out of the three of the United assets, I feel like he will be the most influential in this particular game. I watched him versus Brentford, and he's so greedy, lads. Even if we pull up an 11-5 graphic, let's do it real quick. But I do like to stream for the 150 of you in here. Again, I appreciate every single one of you. Let's bring up an 11-5 graphic and let me quickly show you what I'm talking about. Again, I did speak about this in my transfer plans. And also, you guys have been absolutely smashing the likes and subscribes, lads. I can't tell you how grateful I am. It's been amazing to see. As I've been more consistent, you guys are showing more and more love. So, really means a lot, lads. But yeah, this is... of course, not the be-all and end-all in making my picks. I think anyone who knows me knows I'm not the most analytical manager. But when I'm making my picks, it's always, I always look at things like this, and it's always interesting to see. So while I quickly let you digest that, Mateus Cunha third for goal contributions this week from 11-5's model. Only 0.7 behind Gyökeres. And just to note, I've already got Haaland, I've got Bruno, I've got Watkins, I've got Mbeumo. I could bring in Eze, but he's much lower on this list in comparison to Cunha. When I say much lower, there's not too much in it. But for me, I think because I've got Mbeumo and Fernandes, and I see them scoring goals, why not just be bold and triple up? I think it would also be quite funny. I mean, because I'm so confident in United getting a few goals at Sunderland in the Sunderland fixture. I mean, it'd be interesting. Can you do Krupi Jr. to Sesko? I cannot. No, I only have 1.3 million in the bank, unfortunately. Reinders or Minta on wildcard. For what it's worth, I think they're both very good assets. I would personally go Minta. Again, the City fixtures for the time being don't look great. So therefore I would go Minta. But again, I don't think there's much in that. Two good assets. Especially value assets. Do you think Richarlison will start the weekend? I would say so, Ollie. Due to the Tuesday-Saturday turnaround. More than enough time for Richarlison to recover. Sorry. Calafiori or Timber as a pump? I would go Calafiori. He didn't play midweek. Ndiaye, Reinders or Evan Nilsson to start this game week? That's tough. I would go Ndiaye for the penalties. By the way, do get your questions in, lads. I'm going to try answer as many as possible. But yeah, just going back to this graphic. I did speak about how this could be a very, very big week for me. And if I'm being honest, it's so weird because I'm going into this week with double United attack. But I'm quite confident, lads. I don't know why that super chat's not reading out, but thank you, Ariane.
Larson to play and bench Reinders? Or should I play BB with Dubravka, Esteve, Richards and Larson when I have Arsenal assets who might not star?
Thank you, Arian, for the super chat. I do appreciate it. He says, Strand Larson to play and bench Reinders, or should I play bench boost with Dubravka, Esteve, Richards and Larson? So, just to note on Strand Larson, I believe his there was a quote that was saying that he's going to have reduced minutes. He's not 100% fit. But I don't think this is a week to bench Reinders either. So, bench boost with Dubravka, Esteve, Richards and Larson. Ooh. I don't think so, Arian. And the reason is not because of this singular game week. I think down the line, Dubravka, Esteve, Richards and Larson will have better fixtures. For example, in game week, even next game week 8, I believe the fixtures are much better for the Burnley guys. And I would have no problem bench boosting, even if the likes of Larson or, of course, Reinders, who plays Everton, have bad fixtures. So I'll probably just hold it on to next week. In general, Arian, I'm quite of the mindset, if I have 4 playing players, because you never know what the next game week is going to be, of course, with the big international break, I would play it. But in general, if I could choose, and if it was me in your position, I would be waiting with that bench. Again, you'll have another 2 weeks on Strand Larson, who goes to play Sunderland and Burnley, I believe, in 8th. And then you'll have Dubravka and Esteve with decent fixtures as well. So I would hold on to it, Arian, if it was me. Joe Pedro, keep or sell? Joe Pedro's a keep. You're going to want him back 8, 9, 10. For this week, though, Joe Pedro says Kingsley out for Voldemade or Gakpo out for Mbuemo. I would go Gakpo to Mbuemo or Sarr, personally. FPL Choi, why not Sarr? Because I am wildcarding, I don't need to set myself up for game week 8. It leaves me in a fortunate position where I can take a punt on the likes of an Eze or Kuna, who no managers are going to this week, I can't imagine. Is Dubravka, Caicedo, Anderson and Mukiele good for bench boost game week 8? Yes, for sure. Caicedo, Anderson and Mukiele all tick away nicely with Defcon. And Dubravka, you hope to get some save points off. Lads, how far do you think my team right now is off a free hit? I'm being dead honest. I'm not just saying this because it's my own team. It's how I set up my team. If I was on free hit, I would have 6 of these 11, I would say. Maybe even 7. I would have Bruno Fernandes. I would have Mbuemo. I would have Foden. I would have Haaland. I'd have Kudus. I'd have Porro. I'd have Watkins. And I'd have Cash. Actually, that's 8. Who am I missing? I'm probably missing a Senesi, just for the Defcon. Again, maybe if I'm being a bit biased. But the 3 players I'd get rid of is Cash for Calafiori, Sanchez for Raya, and Gakpo for Eze, if I was on free hit. And I would keep my team exactly the same. Again, though, that's just me. Liam says, I think I'm going Timber for my punt before wildcard 8. What are your thoughts? Yeah, Timber's a good punt. I would prefer Calafiori. Very little in it. It's just the feeling I would do. Oh, she says, HI, at 60k rank, fair play. Do I take my first hit this season for an Arsenal defender? And who do I prioritize first? Gabriel or Timber? Oh, I would say it depends on if you're already wildcarded or not. If you've already wildcarded, I would just go to Gabriel, for sure. If you have the wildcard in the back pocket and you're looking to do something a bit different, I would go Timber. Is it worth keeping Gakpo against Chelsea with 10 defenders injured? It's a good argument, Blue Dot. I mean, alternatively, in previous weeks so I always look at my future game weeks before I go into them. I know what my game week 8 team is going to look like before I'm there. Game week 5 is when I started planning for my game week 8 team. I know it sounds so nerdy, lads, but we're FPL managers, is what we do. Let me fix my camera, by the way, so you can see a bit better. It sounds so nerdy when I say that, but I'm sure a lot of the good managers that do it. But yeah, like, I knew this game week I was going to have a good team. Where am I going? What was my point on that? Oh yeah, so originally I had rolled with Gakpo in it, but I don't think at this point, in game week 5, any of us expected to see so much rotation with Gakpo. In game week 1, 2, and 3, and 4, he looked like a nailed asset in that team. He even signed a new contract in the meantime. Of course, the landscape has changed since then. Ekitike potentially slight injury doubt as well, and we know Isaac is definitely going to start, I would say. So yeah, you could play Gakpo. I just still think he gets early subbed. I can't see a world in which Wirtz sits on the bench for the whole game. Again, 130 million for Wirtz. He's going to be tested even though he's playing poorly. And of course you have Rio and you have Chiesa lurking around, so don't expect 90 for Gakpo. That's why I'd be inclined to get rid of him. But I think it depends on your particular situation. If you're happy with your team other than Gakpo, well, why not just use that one free transfer to try chase him high upside? But nothing wrong with holding on to him. Again, I could make a mistake this week getting rid of Gakpo. Playing the fixtures always doesn't work out that way. And I think a good example of this was last game week when I actually got rid of Morgan Rogers, who got a jammy assist instead of Phil Foden. But in my mind, the decision making was there, and I don't regret doing it. And as long as my decision making is there, the outcome doesn't necessarily matter to me. If I was at 2 million rank right now, I would still say I've been happy with all my decisions this season so far. And sure, mistakes are going to happen, but they aren't inherently mistakes due to the outcome. Saka, Gordon, or Foden. For this particular game week, no doubt Saka. In the next 7, probably Saka if he can get there. So, what about Gordon? He's on penalties. Yeah, no, Gordon is definitely a good one. But for me, Eze, Kuna, much better this game week. Blue Dot says, thank you for your insight. I will keep, because if I transfer them in, or if I transfer them out, it would be for Saka, who might not play 90 either. I would much prefer Saka this game week, because 75 minutes of Saka this game week is better than 75 minutes Gakpo, obviously. And also, Saka has the more likely chance of getting more minutes. Again, what I'm trying to think about is, okay, we're heading into the international break. Maybe managers will be more inclined, knowing that they don't have a game next week, to play their players for the majority of the game. Interesting to see 68% of the poll on Eze, 38 or 32% are the rest. Yeah, I can't believe 32% of you are agreeing with me on Kuna. Oh, lads, you poor fuckers. I don't know how you're listening to me. The only reason you're in here is because the number on your screen, but what do I know, lads? By the way, this is random one. Can you guess what drink this is? Ah, balls, I'm about to ruin it. I thought you couldn't see it because the label was blanked out. My bad. HI, should I start Pedro and DI or Rogers? I would be playing Rogers, without a doubt. Thoughts on DCL over João Pedro? Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the donkey. I mean, statistically the worst striker from a finishing point of view. But to be honest, I have a wildcard draft in 8th with DCL in the team. Is he better than Pedro? No. For this game week or any game weeks to come, I don't think so. 7-up is correct. Grape, unlucky Jamie. I've ruined that. So no applauses. Asmus says, I'm on wildcard this week and can't choose between Josko, Guardiola and Kudus and Byrne and Gordon. What do you think? For this particular game week, I would be going Guardiola and Kudus, playing the fixtures. I was going to guess Vinto, to be fair. Who would you bench this game week out of Ismail Assar, Minsa and Van de Ven? I would bench Van de Ven. Again, Minsa and Ismail Assar quite like this game week. If you could bring in one Tottenham player in their prime for your FPL, who would it be? It would be Harry Kane, without a doubt. What a player. Best striker in the world, by the way. I can't stop singing his praises. I've been saying it forever. Even when he left Spurs. He always has a special place in my heart. Underrated striker. Liam, good luck. Thank you for joining me as usual. And best luck this game week. Aryan says, start Tarka or Richards? It is hard not to start Tarkowski, to be honest. I mean, I always feel like Tarkowski has a bullet header somewhere. I would play Tarkowski. Wood out for who? Assuming JC that you have to go downwards in price. Chris Wood to who? I don't want to say Richarlison, do I? Voldemade, perhaps. I think definitely underrated option. He'll come back in 2026. Would you have Gordon or Semenyo on a wildcard this game week? Yeah, so that's another interesting one. I think if you're asking me now, Bana, it would be Semenyo. The reason being is, it's Semenyo is definitely the big fish in a small pond. And it's just like Brian Mbeumo in previous seasons for Brentford. And we know, for me, Semenyo can put up consistent output for the rest of the season, I would say. And he is definitely the talisman. In comparison to Gordon, again, start with injuries throughout last season. This season, of course, the red card. I want to see a bit more of Gordon, and I would be tempted to bring him in 8. I think if he gets good minutes this game week, I'll be tempted on wildcard for sure. But to answer your question, Semenyo, bring back Prime Bale. Yeah, Derek, Prime Bale would be great, right? But as FPL assets come, I know Harry Kane can get me 20 goals, 20 assists. You know what I mean? And also, he'd make Mohamed Kudus tick a bit better. Sam Carr says, hello, Chai. Hope you are well. I'm all good, Sam. Thank you for asking. Would you bench João Pedro or Ndiaye this week? Thanks. I would bench João Pedro. Ndiaye with the penalties for me. Nearly 200 of you guys in here, by the way. Do hit the like button. And if you aren't already subscribed, lads, I did tell you we're on the way to 10k. I'm going to be as consistent as I can be up to production. Like I said, a new laptop is coming in the door. And also, I'm getting a boom arm so the audio can be a bit better. But even now, I'm trying to make the audio better. And do let me know if it is okay. Are you on wildcard tonight? Says Bonjour. I will be indeed. And I'm going to get a wildcard video either out Saturday night or Sunday morning, I believe. Will Gakpo start? Yeah, I'll be surprised if Gakpo doesn't start. Porro or Manoz this game week? You got to play Porro. Saying that, Manoz is also really good. Yeah, Spacine. Modric for Bentancur would be brilliant. We might be able to actually get the ball forward then. Hey, Chai, you done it. I put cash in. Good shit, Keith. Good shit. Love that. Alex Price says, evening, Chai. Finished work early to watch a deadline stream. That's dedication, my man. I just finished work an hour ago myself. Taken this week to bring in Pope and Gyökeres. Top 500k. So looking to push on again this game week. Taken Pope and Gyökeres from my... Who did you take out? I'm interested, Alex. Let me know. But overall, great moves for sure. How's he, Choi? Says John Boltman. How are you, John? Nathan says, great stream as per. What are your thoughts on Porro? Would you keep him or transfer for an Arsenal defender? This game week, I would definitely hold on to him. Again, like I said, Tuesday, Saturday, break for Spurs. So not any minutes risks in my eyes. I'd be surprised if he doesn't start. Where was I? But yeah, so in general, I would say this week I would be holding on to Pedro Porro. Next game week, next game week, I would be getting rid of Porro for sure. I would be bringing in Gabriel. And if you wanted to do the move this game week, why not? Also, it's not bad, but I feel like there's definitely some upside in holding Porro this game week. Thank you for subscribing, Sam. Had to close work early for the stream. Amazing, Samson, legend. FPL NX says, Yo Chai, I'm going to wildcard in 8. That is so much better. I can actually see the chat now. I'm wondering if I should use my one free transfer as a punt this game week. To answer your question before even reading the rest, yes, because I'm doing it. Have some players I'm not happy with this week, like João Pedro, Sanchez, Williams, and Wood. If you only have 4 players that you're not happy with, it's not inherently a problem. I think if you get minutes from João Pedro, Sanchez, and Williams, sure, you mightn't get the points, but you're not going to have a perfect team every single game week. So yeah, I would use your free transfer this game week. To start 2 out of those lot, assuming you have to play Sanchez, then it would be João Pedro and Williams. I also rushed home from work to watch you, Chai. Lads, there's no way anyone is getting out of work early to watch me. That is brilliant. Where did you study computer science? In my local college, Setu. Interesting, Michael, that you recall. Thoughts on Xavi Simons long term? Looking to get him out. I wouldn't be looking to get him out. Sure, he's been really underwhelming. I would expect to see his first 80-90 minutes this weekend, though. Leads away. Again, didn't start midweek. I think it can only mean lots of minutes on the weekend. Lara says, Hey Chai, thanks for your video. Bench Porro, Yaro, or Munoz? Bench João Pedro or Gakpo? To be honest, I would just play Porro and Yaro. Oh, you can't bench any of those defenders. I'd be more willing to play all of those defenders over those attackers, Lars. When is the deadline? Is your timer correct? Okay, let me quickly fix that. We have an hour 27 till the deadline. It's a 6:30 deadline this time around. Let me quickly fix that, guys. By the way, just another... I know I keep saying it, lads, but genuinely, thank you all round. I've been so consistent because I've been putting in the effort for you guys. But the messages, lads, on not only the comment section, but DMs that I've been receiving on Twitter, I mean, it really does motivate me. So if you do like the videos, do hit the like button for me. Again, it really does go a long way. So thank you so much. Leaning Kuna or Eze now? To be honest, I'm still leaning towards Kuna. It's really weird, lads. I don't know how to explain it. It's just one of those tingling feelings. And I know if I don't go there, I'll be beating myself up come the end of the game week. It's almost, how do I say it? A stubbornness thing now. Because I just know Kuna is going to do it. Are you going to make any transfers this week? I am going to do it. And I'll have to do it early this time around because I'm having issues with not only my internet, but connecting to the fantasy app. John says he's coming for my rank. Good luck, John. It's going to be a hard chase. Don't worry, I'm going to make sure of it. Minta or Matty Cash this game week? To be honest, if I was going long term, I'd go Minta. I'd be more than happy to start Matty Cash this game week, though. Do you think Gordon or Sarah on wildcard? I would say Sarah is a better asset and better value. Keith says, don't underestimate yourself, bro. I'm watching instead of working, lol. My ultras, absolute legend, Keith. Hello, Chai. Please give your beautiful thoughts on Haaland triple captain this game week. Yeah, again, for anyone who didn't watch the team selection, I did speak briefly on the triple captain this game week. For me, what it is a lot of people who are on wildcard 6 would have seen all of those on triple captain game week 6 and have a bit of FOMO from it. And I get it. But I would never ever play my triple captain in a away fixture. Sure, Haaland is the most on-form player in the league, but still, away fixtures, they're less predictable. Kingsley says, Solio Analytics predicts that Kuna 5.5 points this game week, whereas Eze doesn't even make the top 15. Kingsley, interestingly enough, that is the graph that we were just looking at. We were just looking at that. So I know Kuna can have a great week this week. But what I can't compute in my mind Again, I don't know how this works. Due to me having double United attack already, am I better getting a piece of the Arsenal attack rather than tripling up on the United attack? Do you know the likelihood? Am I spreading my risk there, or how does it work? Because in my mind, again, it really depends on your outlook. If I think United can slot up a few past Sunderland, then why wouldn't I triple up on them? Increase my odds of getting a return from not just one of the three, but from one of the main one of the three. I think Kuna is going to do the best this game week. Again, I think he looked quite bright, to be honest, even though he didn't play too well. But he's just greedy, like. Yeah, FPL NX, you're not wrong. W United is already too much. No denying that. But thankfully, I have a wild card out of it. ORN says, why are people concerned about João Pedro? Yeah. So, this is an interesting one. And a point I want to make. I think, first off, João Pedro is most certainly a hole. I would definitely not be getting rid of him. That's the first thing. Second thing is, I am so happy with how I've played the start of the season so far. Game week 1, it looked like Reinders is going to be the best player in the entire world and going to win the Ballon d'Or and get 20 goals, 20 assists, and City are going to walk the league. Didn't listen to the hype, didn't bring him in, was happy to just casually let everyone bring him in, catch price rises, whatever. João Pedro doing the same, banging. Absolutely amazing game week for him also, and a lot of people knee-jerked him in. Again, he is the second most owned player in the game. Still was patient and got my rewards for Ollie Watkins last game week, and this week, fortunately enough, has Burnley at home, and I'm hoping Pedro doesn't do too much, because anyone who has Pedro unlikely has Watkins, as they also have Haaland, and he most likely wildcarded out Watkins also. So this week, this is why I think when I look at the matchups this particular game week, it is João Pedro versus Ollie Watkins. It is Mbeumo versus Semenyo. And for this game week, I back Mbeumo for sure over Semenyo. Mohamed Kudus instead of Iliman and Ndiaye, who a lot of people have. And Phil Foden / whoever is the fifth asset I bring in versus a lot of, like I said, Everton assets. Or a lot of people also have a Xavi, a Kudus. And if you're on wildcard, probably have a Fernandes also. So yeah, it is going to be... Sorry, I'm going to try to let the super chat play out. If it's going to. I don't know if it will. Doesn't look like it's going to play out. I'll read it out. Thank you. Okay. The timing, lads.
Hi, Chai. Really interested in the thesis you did in your school on fantasy. Can we see that paper?
So, another 100, I don't know what currency that is, do let me know in chat, from Aryan. Thank you so much, Aryan. He says, really interested in the thesis you did in your school on fantasy. Can we see that paper? Aryan, I don't have the paper. It is on my old laptop. I'm sure I could dig for it. But I wouldn't even want to show that to people because it's not great. my fantasy ranks are better than the fantasy paper, and that's very telling. Not great. But I do have the I made a web app with it, if you wanted to see, and I did display it on last year's stream. So thank you, Aryan, for the super chat. Again, DM me, perhaps I might be willing to show it. But interesting to see that you are interested. So you'd rather Gakpo to someone else than Sanchez to Raya. Sanchez to Raya is very sideways. Rupees. Okay, thank you, Kingly. Sarr or Grealish? Sarr. Sarr got a rest midweek also. Semenyo or Kuna? Long-term Semenyo. This week, Kuna. Do you think Sanchez to Raya is worth a free transfer? No. I wouldn't even say that's a punt, Brandon. It's just sideways. It depends. It depends. So we weigh up transfers as 4 points. As a hit is worth 4 points. Is it worth risking... okay, let's just say Sanchez concedes... What's likely? 3 goals? That's probably worst case scenario. Sanchez concedes 3 goals. It's also quite likely he gets 3 save points, I would say minimum. You'd imagine they could see a lot of shots this week. Therefore, he probably ends the week on 2 points. David Raya likely has a ceiling of, 9 points? How is the game going to play out? Is it likely that Raya even gets bonus points? No, I wouldn't say so, due to Arsenal being quite high in the goal projections this week. So it's really the difference of 2 to 6 points. So, I mean, you might want to do it anyway next week if you're on wildcard. So you could do it early, but again, I wouldn't be sold on doing it really. I'd be also more than happy than rolling, to be honest, and having a transfer. Manhinster says Foden or Mbeumo as a 1 week punt. In that case, I would go Mbeumo. Is Eze likely to start? I would be so surprised if Eze doesn't start. Thank you for subscribing, Tant Sin. Vasa says, sitting on the toilet after coming home from work. Just joined in. Any crazy news? No, there's no crazy news as of yet. Again, we'll keep you posted. Kingley says, Brent Crellin has started Stack. Yeah, I would also probably play Stack against Spurs. By the way, someone just critiqued Thomas Frank. I am not on that train by any means. I'm a big Thomas Frank believer. Hi Choi, new subscriber here says Daka. He says Trippier on a free hit. He has to start with Livermento out, right? Yeah, he does have to start. On a free hit. I mean, I don't think he'd be one of the first names on my team sheet. I'm trying to think, if I was on free hit, who would I have? I would have Cash, I would have Paro, and I would have Gabriel. So I don't mind that as a punt, but again, he's quite old and probably gets an early sub if I'm trying to think logically. Kuna or Mbeumo or Gordon. Again, it really depends what you're looking for, lads. Overall, I would say Kuna. Again, he comes in at a different price point though, so it's not a fair comparison. Who's the best 1 week punt to replace Verts? I'm trying to find the same answer myself, Crotterman. Choo choo blood, Thomas the Frank engine. Thoughts on Pedro to Gyökeres. I love it. But you're going to want Pedro back down the line. Do you think Richarlison will start? I do think so. By the way, lads, almost into the top 100k. I think this could be the week we finally actually break into it. Kuna's a very strong pick, but wouldn't it be wiser to go Eze, as you'd have diversity, even if you are on wildcard next week? Vasa, this is the question I'm trying to ask. Like, I don't know if actually going Eze is... Like, imagine you took none of the way I want to play the game into it, and you only went analytically. Does it make more sense to bring in Eze, even though Kuna has much better numbers than this game week? From a projected point of view. Someone who's analytical, let me know in chat. I'm curious. Would you still bring in Gabriel this game week with the news? Would I do it? Probably. Again, I'm not, so it's a bit easier for me to say. I would just probably bring in Calafiori though. Like, why not? A bit cheaper as well. Yeah, I'm surprised to see the amount of wildcards this game week, lads. Quite a high number of wildcards, which is interesting. Ali says, Salah and Guy to Saka and Gyökeres. I played my wildcard already. Again, it's really hard to answer that question without looking at the rest of your team. I would say generally the answer is yes. Should I transfer out NDI for Saka for a -4, taking wildcard game week 8? No, I wouldn't. All it takes is Iliman NDI to get Defcon, and then he's on a 4-pointer. So Saka has the difference of 8 points to make up, which I think is not great. Vasa, as a Palace fan, I'm siding with Eze, but of course, clearly I'm biased. But for Kuna from last week's game, was very unlucky. He was one of the front... Sorry lads, I can't speak. I've been speaking all day, I apologise. He was one of the forefront players along with Mbeumo, I agree. Bruno was quite poor. How to join your WhatsApp group? Arian, you need to become a member. Become a member and DM me on Twitter. My Dixie says Margot Robbie to Sydney Sweeney or roll. You gotta roll the transfer, man. It's not the week to do that. Got Bruno and Joe Pedro on my bench. Do you think one of them deserve to play? Yes, Bruno has to play all day. I don't know where this Bruno hate is coming from. Good evening, lads, says FPL Tough. Good to see FPL Tough. We are indeed ready to make decisions. Who's the best 1 week punt to replace Verts? If I didn't have any United assets, I would be going Kuna in a heartbeat. Shall I Reinders or Evan Nilsson? This particular game week, I would go Reinders. Shall is Gabriel out? I don't know if he's going to be out. I think it is still the likelihood that he is going to play. I hope he's out. I mean, I don't own him. He's probably my biggest rank threat currently. What did I say? Cap, if I don't have Haaland or Manu asset, Gyok or Salah. I don't know what your question is there. Voldemort 1 week punt. Yeah, I do like it. Enzo or João Pedro? Enzo. Enzo's definitely going to get to DEFCON this game week. I say definitely, but... Okay, no, it's not definite. Don't quote me on that. Would you go Pope or Martinez on free hit? I would go Martinez, and I would have Marco Bizith on the bench. Good evening, Right Honourable Zeus. He says, bench boost with Gabriel yellow flagged. Yes. Harry Kane says Eze or Foden. I'd be inclined to go Eze, Harry Kane. Good to see Harry Kane is a channel member. If that's not incentive to come and join the WhatsApp group, we've got Harry Kane. I don't know what is. What do you reckon, Mateta or Voldemade? Long term Mateta for sure. Penalties. Foden does love Brentford for sure. Scored the last 6 goals at the G-Tech. Bench Wood or Reinders? Bench Wood. Marco Bizot. Champions Collide. I'm good, man. Good to see you. Archer says, here's my team. Would you start any of those benched? No, I wouldn't. I would keep as is. I already have Gyökeres, says Jian. I need Gakpo out. Who should I replace him with? I don't think you necessarily need to replace Gakpo. I'm replacing Gakpo because I'm greedy. Downtown says he can't believe Harry Kane is in here. I know, yeah, it's absolutely mental. Sean says, hey Chai, good to see you. Hello, Sean. Play Wood or Verts? Or transfer Verts out to someone and bench Wood before Wildcard 8? I would transfer out Verts. I would just be aggressive. My game week 7 captain is going to be Erling Haaland. Bring in Timber or Gabriel long term? Well, it's going to be Gabriel. He's the one. How do you feel about Iliman and Dye as an asset? Great, to be honest. I have him in my team, but I've gone cold on him. Would you take a -4 to swap him? No, I wouldn't. I would definitely hold on to NDI. Why are you not considering Gordon, Chai? I am. For anyone who watched my transfer plans video, know I spoke about Gordon on it for sure. But for me, the upside definitely is higher with the likes of Acuna or Eze this game week. Verts to Eze or Sar? Can't get to Saka. I would go Eze. Any thoughts on when Vissa might return? I believe it is October. Again, don't quote me on that. 180 guys in here, by the way. Do hit the like button. Let's do a little scroll on Twitter, shall we? Let's see what's going on in the community. And see if we're going to get any news. Yeah. So, Kingley was talking about this graph. Highest projected goal scorers, or point scorers this game week. Kuna in 6th. Mbuemo in 8th. And Bruno Fernandes 3rd. I mean... I don't base my picks on this. But the fact that the markets and models that I do look at and like are projecting Kuna to do much better than Eze really, really makes me want to do it. And I also think, lads, what would be good, not just for the game, but for me now, to bring in Triple United in a week where everyone... No, there's no doubt that United are poor as a team. But on the other side of the coin, as FPL assets go, I don't care how good or bad United are as long as their assets are returning. And if I can pick up on players who no one wants in a week where I'm going to wildcard next week and get rid of them, why not? It would be a cool little statement. Triple United with Sunderland at home and having the cojones to do it. Sleepy, I believe Larson is still projected to play, even if he is ill. Again, don't quote me on that, but that's what I saw. Lacroix in 15th. Lacroix in 15th place is interesting. Yeah, for sure, it is interesting. But again, you just feel like if he's guaranteed DEFCON, and also Everton is always a good opportunity to get a clean sheet. It's definitely a nice fixture for him. Interestingly enough, by the way, on my wildcard 8, I do have Lacroix in it. With a double Palace defence, which is fun, of course. Lads, I think I'm going to go to Mateus Cunha. I think I'm just going to put all my eggs in one basket. Mateus Cunha is 0.2 projected lower than Salah. That is insane to me. I know he's a tough game, but... What do you think about triple captain Haaland? I don't love it, man. Why Krupi first bench, Chai? Let me quickly go to my team. Why Krupi first bench? Ooh.
Hi Chai, so can you tell what's your mindset when you plan for a GW? What is your procedure and what type of research you go through?
Great question, Aryan, and I love that you've asked this, and thank you, Dart, for subscribing. Yeah, so this is why I always back myself as a FPL manager. And Dexter with also a super chat. Let me let this run out. Sorry, guys, I'll get back to your super chats. 2 seconds.
Chirkers or Mente this week with WC8 in mind.
Oh, I just realised, lads. Can you not hear the super chats? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I have text-to-speech on this whole time. You could... I'm so sorry, lads. That's why I paused in between super chats. I'm an idiot, man. Okay, let me quickly answer Dexter's question. Yockers are minted this game week with wildcard 8 in mind. Victor Yockers, for without a doubt. Thank you, Varan, for subscribing. I wouldn't think twice about Dexter. But to answer Aryan's question, who says, so can you tell us what is your mindset when you plan for a game week? What is your procedure and what type of research do you do? So again, like I was saying, I really back myself. Oh, you can't hear the super chats. Thank God. That was about to be embarrassing. So the type of manager I am is I listen to managers who are better than me. I know for every aspect of FPL there is a manager better than me. There's only one category that I'm a better manager than other people. The one category I know for a fact that I'm a better manager than other people is that I'm able to make my own decisions no matter who I listen to. If I listen to 10 YouTubers, 10 analytic guys, my best friends, I will always go with what I think no matter what they say. I will always formulate my own opinion on the back of what I think. That's the main thing. And there is so much power in being able to go with what you think rather than what the crowd is doing. There is power in the crowd, and especially in such a tight-knit community like the FPL one. But you have to realise, when you differentiate yourself from the crowd, and the crowd goes and does something not necessarily wrong, but they don't get the outcome that they are looking for, well, the likelihood is if you've not done what they've done, you're going to be on the other end of it, and you're probably doing quite well. So to answer your question, the type of manager I am and what research I do is I listen to managers I would trust in specific aspects of FPL. For example, like I say, the great example for me is the best planner in FPL is probably Ben Crellin, for example. He does the fixture lists. He knows how to make a team to plan. So I'm always keeping one eye on him. Prass, always really good at explaining fixture tickers and what he plans on doing based on the fixtures. I'll listen to Let's Talk FPL. I'm just like you guys, and this is why I love making content, because I was just someone who tuned into Let's Talk FPL's streams every single week, or Ross's, or Harry's, or Oscar's. I've been around, and Gianni, I listened to all of them. I listened to Let's Talk FPL, and I listened to the info they're providing, more so than their opinion. There are a select few opinion that I would go with. Again, that's not to discredit anyone. It's just you're gonna put your trust in certain people. Hence why, for example, that's why 200 of you guys are with me. Maybe you put a small bit more trust into myself because I play a small bit more differently. But you get what I'm saying. So I might listen to those guys for the general information. Ross is probably one of the best at displaying, quick numbers, XG, XA, non-penalty, XGI, whatever it is you want. And then for a more in-depth approach to the game, I listen to Fran. Fran is probably the manager who is most close to my own play style, in the sense where he plays very, very analytically. I don't necessarily do that, but he always ends up doing or thinking down the same type of path that I do. So I guess the type of manager I am and the research I do is I watch the football just like you guys do. I play the game with emotion. I don't go, oh, he's playing United, I hate United, I'm capping them. Again, that's the obvious thing. And if you can take emotion out of making your picks, of course, you're going to be a better manager. But also, again, I always just do what I think after watching the game. I don't do any at all research. I look at the scores, I watch the games, and I might throw on a video or two on the weekend before I make a video. And I will formulate my own opinion on it. And that's all I do. There's genuinely, again, at the end of the day, we're just making one transfer a week. There's actually not too much to it. I mean, you could be quite lucky and not watch any football and still make picks on a weekly basis and do quite well. There is a large element to luck, guys. And it's easy for me to say right now, hiding behind the 100k rank, that, I'm watching the football and I'm making my picks and I'm doing well. So what I'm saying might have more ammo to it now. But if I was at 2 million, lads, I'd be saying the same things. I'd still be playing the exact same way and I would be happy with the outcome due to the fact that I always back my own picks. So no matter the outcome, I'm happy. And that's why it makes FPL so fun for me. I don't like playing FPL because of my rank. I like it because I can go, yeah, I think I'm going to bring in Mateus Cunha this week. Bring in Mateus Cunha. And fortunately, I have a platform where people are watching and going, Chai's after bringing in Mateus Cunha. Right? And then Cunha goes and, let's just say, returns. It's a nice feeling to, go against what people are telling you and going and doing what you think and also getting recognition for it. It's cool. It is cool. And that's why I do it. I love what I do. I mean, again, I do it because it's a hobby and it's fun. But to also, be recognized on, for example, when posting about it, it's a nice feeling. And so that's the type of manager I am. And to say, research, I don't do research. I mean, I don't think that's the right word. I think if you're engaged in the community, that's all the research you need. I don't go looking through threads and stuff and basing it off 0.02 more XGI than the next guy. It doesn't matter to me. So yeah, that's my little rant on type of manager I am. But yeah, get your questions in, lads. Sorry, I know I ranted for a little bit there. We have an hour until the deadline. I am leaning more and more towards Mateus Cunha, lads, I'll be honest. Hello, that's tough, my guy. How are you? Lucas says, best cheap forward. I'm thinking of getting Calvert-Lewin or Foster. Thoughts? Best cheap forward. It depends when you want a bench boost, because I would not be playing one of those on a weekly basis. Sorry, lads. I can't speak. Top 3 differential picks this game week, Chai. In defense, I would go Matty Cash. In midfield, I would go Mateus Cunha. And also, I would definitely have Bruno this game week if I could. Maybe not so differential, but not one that people want this game week, I don't think. Best cheap forwards. Sorry, I already answered that question. By the way, do let me know what type of manager you are. Do you take a more analytical approach to the game? If you do, I get it. Data is everything in the modern world. And again, I don't computer science. I'm very understanding of that. I don't look past data or dismiss anyone who wants to play that game that way. I just don't find it enjoyable. Andy Summer says, come on, you Spurs. Chai. Kais, Andy. Kais. Would you do Timber to not risk the Gabriel knock? Yeah, on free hit, I would go Calafiori Trico, personally. Salah out for Bruno? No, I wouldn't, personally. Salah could easily come away with something this game week. You're bench boosting Lucas. Oh, bench boost this week. I would go... probably would go DCL, you know. Low ownership management? Really? You play the game in a low ownership way? Good to see you, Choi. Doku over Rounders, says Leo. Or Liatl. No, I wouldn't go Doku over Rounders necessarily. I think Rounders comes in at better value. I wouldn't free hit Michael, no. Chris Wood to Victor Gyökeres or Watkins for a -4. I would go to Gyökeres. I watch you and FML FPL. Look at data and then ignore all for vibes. Yeah, I mean, there's no point in looking at data if you're going to ignore it. Good point. Thank you for subscribing, Kazang Dukpa. Appreciate you. Top 30k last year. Just go off vibes from watching games. Love that, Ian. What do you think about Burn? Good asset. Good potential at DEFCON and a small bit of goal threat. Lucas says who? I would go DCL. FPL Toff says, would you go Manoz to Gabriel or Elliot to Minta? I would go Elliot to Minta. Xhaka or Ryan Gravenberch? I would go Xhaka. Are you playing Robert Sanchez? Says Sean. I am. Do you think Gakpo will start? I do. What does your draft for wildcard look like? Champions Collide, I'm not releasing it on this stream, but we will take a look on either Saturday night or Sunday morning, I believe. Hi Shai, how do I join your WhatsApp group? Aryan, you need to become a member to join. Again, appreciate the support. Liam Walsh says, need an 8th midfielder. Caicedo, Paqueta, or someone else in that range. Yeah, okay, so great topic of conversation here because it's something that I'm looking at. For me, the one I'm looking at is Elliot Anderson. Again, he's down to 5.4. Small bit cheaper than Paqueta. Paqueta has better fixtures. Caicedo, who will take away nicer. No doubt he'll probably pick up more DEFCON. But I do like Elliot Anderson. I do think in an Ange team, he might have more attacking output. And if he can consistently get to DEFCON, great. Do hit the like button, lads. 200 of you guys still in here. I do appreciate all you faces for joining me. Do you think I should take a hit for Nico Williams and Wood, Gyökeres and Gabriel? Yes, I would, personally. Start Pedro, Gakpo, or a -4 for Gakpo. Anyone else, who would you suggest? No, I wouldn't take a -4. And I'd probably play Gakpo in that case. VVD or VDV? Tough one. I would say Van de Dijk. No, I would play Van Dijk. Have you made your transfers yet? If not, what's the plan? I've not made my transfers yet. The plan is to bring in Matheus Cunha unless I suddenly get an urge to do otherwise. Thank you for subscribing, Shamsi. Appreciate you. Ooh, I'm worried about Ange Ball in general. Again, Ange Ball can go down the bin for me. In general, Liam, as long as he's picking up the DEFCON. For 5.4 million, lads, to even get 90 minutes and DEFCON every game, that's good. Not including the prospect of Ange's teams being very attacking. And it's also high XG chances Ange's team create. Low 6-yard box crosses. You never know. Elliot Anderson can find himself in those spaces. Do you think Richarlison will start? Yes, I do. Matheus Cunha and a 4.5 for Gakpo. Thank you for subscribing, Rafik. Cunha and a 4.5 for Gakpo and Nico Williams for a -4. I wouldn't be taking a -4, I don't think. Because I could be taking a -4 in that case. I can't advise that. Van de Ven or João Pedro? It's tough. I think I would play Van de Ven. Yo, try Gakpo for Sarr, Anthony or Eze. Gakpo for Sarr, yes. Anthony or Eze. Eze. I mean, it's not too hard. Yeah, Liam, Caicedo is definitely the safe one. And I think Caicedo is great. I mean, the fixtures are there as well. Evening choice, says Charlie. -4 for Gabriel, Sarr and Gyökeres for Virgil, Saka and Muniz. I mean, I do like it. I don't love it though, Charlie. Someone just subscribed, by the way, and I missed it. I do apologise.
Everything's working here.
Lads, I don't know if anyone joined me at the start of the stream, but I spoke about how the internet was messing up and there's issues. The power, or not the power, but the internet just went. And I happened to be on hotspot. This is the best thing ever. I actually worked out in my favour. Hello, Adam Sousa. Good to see you, my man. How are you? What's Eze's minutes look like in the future? Lucas, I'd like to think that Eze is going to be integrated starting in the league fixtures for me. Do I think Eze will start? I think he gets 75 minutes minimum. Who is the best pick in United? For this singular game, we can say is Kuna. Ugh. What's Eze's minutes like in the future? I don't watch Arsenal. Yeah, so Eze definitely is a difference maker for Arsenal. That's why they brought him in. Potential differences. Is there any update on João Pedro? And how is Voldemade for the week as a punt with wildcard next week? I quite like Voldemade this week. Don't get me wrong. For sure. Definitely really like him with Wissa being out. Update on João Pedro? I don't think we're going to get anything new. Yermi Pino or Mitoma? I believe they're both a doubt. Again, don't quote me on that. Zina says Van de Ven or Alderete. Van de Ven without a doubt. Richarlison in for João Pedro for a 1 week punt, says FPL Villain. Wildcard 8 most likely. That's a tough one. Would I do it? Probably not. I'd probably either just play Pedro or go to a different striker who's going to get more minutes than Richarlison this week. Is the storm strong where you are? Fortunately enough, from my county to Cork, it is quite quiet. It was fairly bad earlier. It's after calming down a small bit. Gakpo to Sarah Gordon. I would do Gakpo to go... Gakpo to Sarah Gordon. Sarah is probably better value. Chai already messed up by bringing in Xavi a few weeks back. Yvonne, I don't think Xavi is a misstep personally. I just think he's not done well. I play him this game week instead of João Pedro. You think he gets minutes? For sure. I would be shocked to see Xavi not get 80 minutes this week. And there's something going terribly wrong if he doesn't before an international break. How do you become a member? Is it just a join button? Yeah, Liam, it is indeed just a join button. And for anyone who wants to become a member, do hit the join button. I do appreciate you, lads. Rian says, up in Tyrone, lad, the wind is strong. Yeah, so I actually work for a tree company. And I can see all the places where the wind is really bad due to trees falling down. So yeah, it is quite bad in Tyrone. Interestingly enough, where it's worse though is off the west coast, of course, where the weather. How has this become a weather channel? Let me stop talking. Oh lord. Verts to Eze, I do like it. Ryan says, as you being a Spurs fan, would you keep Xavi Simons or go to Gordon? I would definitely keep Xavi Simons, lads. Actually, this week I fancy Simons. Again, he didn't start midweek and he has a lot to prove. And again, maybe you might think there's a small bit of Spurs boys, but lads, he's playing against Leeds. Not that Leeds have been woeful by any means, but I'd always play against relegation sides. FPL weather. Thoughts on Foden captaincy? Is it dumb? No such thing as dumb. Is there a better captain than Haaland? Yes. So no, it is not stupid. Thank you, Liam, who's become a cup of chai. Do send me on your number on X. Liam, you've been here quite a while in these streams. I do appreciate you tuning in consistently. It means a lot. Yeah, so I am not a manager. This is an interesting talking point. Especially early on, lads, I am not a manager to base my picks on the first 6 game weeks of the league. At this rate, we're saying Sunderland are going to finish in the top 8. We're saying Leeds, Sunderland are going to continuously have a consistent defence. I'm not saying that they're going to be a Luton from last season or anything like that. But my point is things can change quite quickly for these teams. Suddenly, let's just say, for example, Sunderland concede 3 or 4 to United. Next week, we're having a different conversation because it is so early on in the season. I'm not going to say the likelihood is that, but the markets project United to get 2.2-ish goals. I mean, the markets believe it. Sunderland can be as good as they want. I take the fixtures as they are in front of me. I'm not basing my picks off the last 6 game weeks. I'm looking at United with Sunderland at home. I'm going, great fixture. United have created a lot of chances this week. I mean, how bad? Haaland, best striker on form in the league. He plays against Brentford. Happy days. I mean, there really isn't too much to it. Sure, Sunderland have been good, but it would never, ever put me off picking a player. Yeah, Sunderland could get more points this week. They could be second come the end of the game week. And I might be eating my words. But I'm just saying, the type of manager I am. Again, the outcome mightn't be what I want, but... Bench João Pedro or Reinders? I would bench Pedro. Yeah, so I could easily see that as well. Again, I don't care if it's 5-5 as long as my players are involved. Is Bruno still the best United long term? Yes, for sure. Again, what I'm interested is to see if he hands the ball, if a penalty is given to Mateus Cunha or Brian Mbeumo. I think that would be interesting. Would Odegaard be a differential shout to replace Gakpo? Or choose between Eze, Sarr, or Kudus? Yeah, Odegaard is definitely differential. Not many people have him, I can say that for sure. Would I be going for him over an Eze, Cunha, Sarr, Kudus? No, I wouldn't. I don't think so. That's just me personally. I feel like there's way more upside than the other ones. Bruno, a Buns player? Yeah, he's definitely lacking confidence for sure. Want a captain and Mbeumo together? No, not necessarily. Sesko Brace? Imagine. Raging. Anish says, should I go captain, or should I go Gakpo to Saka for a -4? I already have Eze. No, I wouldn't do it, Anish. I think if United get a pen, it's Cunha. Still hasn't scored for United yet. Yeah, but Mbeumo hasn't done too much either. I could easily see him, since he's been in the team a bit longer than Cunha. When I say a bit longer, Cunha, of course, with the injury, was out for a bit. Why not Gakpo to Sarr? It's a safe pick because I'm on wildcard 8 and I can be bold. Let me quickly end that poll, by the way. It's still up, sorry. Let's do a new poll. Let's do... let me think. I'm trying to think of something good. Joe was so annoying. I don't have an asset for tonight's game. Captain Foden. Don't love it, Patrick. Thoughts on Richarlison? Not bad this game week. Not bad at all. If I had him, I'd be holding him for sure. Would I be bringing him in? I'm unsure. Sorry, just going back to the poll. What should I do? I want to say... Let's see who's used their wildcard. Have you already wildcarded? This is going to be interesting. And the reason I'm asking this is, if you're watching me, I don't know if you do similar to me, or I don't know if you're necessarily taking my advice, but is the likelihood that more people have not used their wildcard because they're watching me? Should I get Foden when I already have Reinders and Haaland, says Crotterman. No, I don't think you need to. Buendia captain. DCL or João Pedro? Why not just go João Pedro? I mean, DCL plays Spurs. It's a tough game. Pedro Porro to Califiore for the upcoming run. I already have Gabriel, but not buying an attacker on wildcard 13. I would hold on to Porro this week, personally. Again, I could be wrong about it, lads. Again, it's just my gut, though. Alright, let's do another little scroll on Twitter, shall we? Let's see what's going on. An interesting on the timeline. Andy Martin is locked in. Want Saka and want to start Bogle. What's he doing? Considering bench boosting, but just can't justify any of the options. Rolling. Love that, Andy. Lads, put in chat, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to open that. Put in chat quickly. Sorry, I know there's already a poll up and you're clicking away. But what would you rate my team this game week on a scale of 1 to 10? I genuinely feel like it's an 8. Especially with Kuna in it. And you know what? I think I'm going to do Mateus Kuna now before my power goes or something. Better safe than sorry. Triple up on the United boys. I'm going to regret doing that, I know. I can't help myself, lads. I genuinely can't explain the feeling. And this could easily be 0-0. What's wrong with Gabriel? Arteta said he had an issue at half time. And then Raya jumped over and landed on his back. But nothing crazy, I don't think. 7.5, 7. 4 out of 10, 6.7. 8 before Kuna, 7 after Kuna. Haaland triple cap, don't love it. Triple United and you're going asking for a rating. Exactly, T-Man. 7 out of 10 Arsenal defender makes it 9 out of 10. Davis, I agree. I think if I had an Arsenal defender, the team is so strong. 7, 6.5 if you had Kuna, 6.5 due to no arse. Fair. No arse, but who is instead of arse? We got Cash. I mean, not bad. 60% of you guys have not wildcarded yet. That's mad. And it's interesting. Alright. I think I'm happy to make the move now. I think I've let things digest in my own mind. I've been thinking about it all week already, but 1 week punt, lads. Let's do something. I can't believe I'm doing this, to be honest. So, two things need to happen in order for me to be happy with this move. And the first thing is, Semenyo tonight needs to blank. If Semenyo blanks tonight, no matter what happens with Mateus Kuna, I'll be happy with. Because I'm going to be... I can't speak. I'm going to be comparing Kuna to Semenyo. I think it is fair comparison as well. Secondly, I need Kuna to outscore Eze and Gyökeres. And I will call it a successful transfer. Okay, maybe not necessarily Gyökeres, but to outscore Eze is what I want. And I'm happy. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for a 24-pointer from Kuna. Stop feeling sympathy for United and giving us a trophy last season. I'm not joking. If you buy Kuna, your team goes to a 5 out of 10, says Karen. Fair? That is so fair. But this is where my head is at, lads. Again, I can't explain the feeling. Another little scroll on the timeline before I make the move. Don't think we're getting anything interesting here. Lastly, the updated charts from Rob T. United 2.07 expected goals. The second highest this week, lads. Might I add. Shame none of you guys are going to own triple United. Alright. I think I'm comfortable to make the move now. Thinking of triple Arsenal for what we're saying. I've looked at it on Wildcard, I'm not going to lie. Good luck, T-Man. Thank you for joining me. Let's make the move, lads. Make transfer. Cody Gakpo to Mateus Kuna. Confirm. It's done. There you go. You know, this is the show that I'm also not clickbait. You know, when I speak about my moves, lads, I really mean it. Like, I don't put Kuna and Eze to try, you know, clickbait people. I genuinely believe in a lot of the picks I'm suggesting. But yeah, Triple United boys are in, lads. This is going to be an interesting week for sure. I'm actually excited. But not for me. For everyone else. Let's see quickly the fixtures. When are United playing? They're playing 3 o'clock on Saturday. And when do... Okay, Arsenal also play 3 o'clock on Saturday. Cool. And when does... Yeah, no one else to worry about. So, Semenyo tonight Eze on Saturday, 3 o'clock, same time as Mateus Kuna plays. Interesting. Okay, there you go, lads. I told you. I was likely going to be doing it. TC says stop Choi. Eze, Saka, and Gabriel in. Livermento, Salah out, and Elliot out for -4. Jeez, yeah, there's some good moves for sure. Yes, Stephus, I do believe so. Biggest cojones in the FPL community? I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that. Lads, it's nothing to ever do about, trying to be... I think this is a big misconception, because I see it in my comment section. Like, I'm never trying to be different for the sake of it. Again, I can't tell you enough. Like, I make the moves I make because I believe that they're going to get me the most points. And that's it. There's no more to it. Genuinely. I actually don't care what the next person is doing either. Like, if you wanted to copy my team or if you think my team is shit, fair enough. The game is, I pick a different team to you based on what I think. You pick the team you think is better than mine, and your goal is to get more points than me. So, if anything, if you thought my team was good, then you should have my team. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Triple United before the wildcard 8, lads. No Arsenal this game week, unfortunately. I'm doing Richards and Caicedo or Timber and Anderson. Assuming this is long term, Liam, I would do Timber and Anders. Oh, that's tough, actually. That's really, really close. I'm not going to give you an answer.
Khalafi or Saliba on Dub C?
So thank you for this, the 18 QAR. I don't know what currency that is either. Do let me know. Nasser Darwish, I do appreciate you. Loads of super chats this stream, lads. Appreciate all you guys, lads. Calafiori or William Saliba on wildcard. I'll be going Calafiori. Again, Calafiori got a little rest midweek. Do you play FIFA? My PlayStation's actually broke, but I did indeed buy FIFA. I used to be a little FIFA nerd. Elite 2. Gakpo, Brennan Johnson, or Gakpo, Brennan Johnson, or Wood transferred out. Wildcard, so 1 week punt. I'd probably do Wood out. Game week 8, Byrne and Rodgers, or Richards and Gordon. Richards and Gordon. Who would you bench out of Ndiaye, João Pedro, or Minta? I would bench Pedro. You have no United or no Arsenal? Interesting. It's mad, like. Everyone has lost... Well, I say everyone. Particularly myself, because I'm not wildcarded yet. I have such a different team to everyone else. It is mad. Yeah, the new FIFA is decent. When I say decent, I mean the gameplay is good. I just wish there was defending in the game. Best Liverpool players to buy besides Salah. Alexander Isak, to be honest. Choi, you should get your super chats to appear on the screen so people can read them. They do appear on the screen. Lads, do my super chats not appear on the screen, but they appear on mine? Do let me know. Do you think Pedro to Gyökeres this week or no? Yeah, if it's a free transfer, why not? The biggest cojones. I wouldn't say that, lads. Royce and Raya or Eze and Alderete? Royce and Raya. I mean, assuming that you're not playing Alderete this week, I mean, it's Eze and Alderete in that case. Yeah, the defending is tough now. Yeah, they do appear. Okay, I was thinking. I was fairly positive that they do appear. We have 35 minutes, lads, until the deadline. Do get your questions in, and if you aren't somehow already subscribed, do subscribe and also like the stream for me. Let's get the like button to 200 likes, lads, if we can. Do a little refresh of the timeline, and then I'll answer some of your questions. But yeah, the transfers I made, I feel much better now. Thank you, Davis. Message doesn't appear. So it appears for some and doesn't appear for some. I'm so confused. Biggest... Oh... Kuna... I can't even. That's good, Kingley. I love that. I love that. Esteve to Calafiori, or Anderson to Eze. Esteve to Calafiori, definitely, definitely. Some people have Triple City. Some people have Triple United. Some people have Triple Arsenal. Let's see how it plays out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. How have I ended up with Triple United? In no world would I had thought this. That I'm going to own Triple United ahead of one of their worst... Off the back of one of their worst seasons of all time. But here we are. And I have people watching me bring in Triple United. You probably think I am a lunatic or something. Do Spurs keep a clean sheet tomorrow? Probably. Oh, the message itself doesn't appear? Sorry. Gotcha now, Farrak. Can I choose one? Kuna or Mbuemo? I would go Kuna. Keep Richarlison for this week? Absolutely, without a doubt. Minta, Reinders or Anthony? Anthony. I would go Reinders. Salah to Saka, please. No. Triple Spurs. I am bricking it, mate. Yeah, I don't love triple Spurs now, I'll be honest. I'm happy with Poro and Kudus. That's enough for me. Luzax says he's loving the content. Keep going. For you, which Arsenal player is vital to have? Vital? I don't think any of them are vital. That's why I've not got any of them. I think from next game week onwards, I think I'll definitely be looking to bring in two of them. I think the defenders are probably more vital. As a United fan, you couldn't pay me to have Triple United. Well, it's different for me. When I watch United now, I'm not going a double bubble in if my FPL assets blank and my team loses. That's terrible. Mateta or Pedro? Mateta. It depends what your question is. To start this week, it is Mateta. Tarkovsky or Mukiele, says Franak. I would be going Tarkovsky. That's just me though. Bench one of Bone or Calvert-Lewin? I'll be benching Calvert-Lewin. Triple captain Haaland or Waith? Waith. Start Reinders. David West says, I've got Kuna on my team and personally I think he's an unbelievable differential. Thank you, Davis. Me too. I agree. He's gone 45 minutes after the deadline anyway. Absolutely. I can't wait for the deadline to pass. Oh, Lord. I'll be picking up on the price rise for sure. Voldemade 1 week punt. I do like it for sure. Evan Nilsson to Voldemade. Probably not. I'd probably hold out. Alright, let's do another scroll on Twitter, lads. I just want to make sure we don't miss anything on stream. Let's take a look. Are we getting any information? I don't believe so. Let's see what Praz is saying on his timeline. Yeah, it's 2025 and people are interpreting what Arteta says. I hate Arteta, lads. Okay, hate is a strong word. I dislike Arteta. Alright, people are locked in. I'm also locked in. Again, I could put the captaincy on Bruno, but I think I've had enough now. Do you know? And do keep me in your thoughts for the weekend, lads. But whatever you do, if it doesn't swing my way, don't at me. Don't at me. Try do your predicted points as usual. Don't think you even got close yet. That is not true, FPL Thought. There was 1 week I done well. But let's do it. I'm going to go 3 points for Robert Sanchez. I think he's going to come up with 6 save points. I'm going to go... Matty Cash is going to get an assist this week. It's going to be driven across the box, off the 6-yard box. I'm going to go with Matty Cash, 9-pointer. Pedro Porro gets another assist this game week. I'm going to go with a 9-pointer also. Nico Williams, 0. Mateus Cunha, I'm going to go 9. Phil Foden, I'm going to go 7. Kudus, I'm going to go 6. Bruno, I'm going to go 9. Embuemo, I'm going to go 6. Haaland, I'm going to go... What am I saying for Haaland? 18. Watkins, 9. Again, that might be a small bit ambitious, but again, the fixtures are there for my own team, and I love my team this game week, lads. I wouldn't change it. Look at that front 7, lads. Come on. Come on. Give me some sort of applause for having some sort of non-template team. Oren says, disliking my template ass team. Exactly. Rolling and having 4 free transfers a game week 8. I love that, Sleepy. Fair play. He deserves a strong word, I agree. I don't be captaining people just to gain rank. I captain them if I think they're going to score the most points. Yeah, Sunderland haven't been that bad, but I think United can do well in this game. Choi, apart from Saka, who's the best Arsenal/United player to get for a 1 week punt? Man, have you not been watching the stream? I've been speaking about Kuna and Eze all stream, man. Start Mateta or Welbeck? Mateta. Hi, Chai, would you move Ekitike to Watkins or Valdemare for a 1 week punt? Or not a 1 week punt? For not 1 week punt, I'd probably be going Valdemare. Would you start Mukiele versus United or Anderson versus Bournemouth? Anderson versus Bournemouth without a shadow of a doubt. Play Jorginho Rutter or Chris Wood? Jorginho Rutter. Start 3 of Reinders, Pedro, Ndiaye, Xavi and Romero. I would start Xavi. I would start Ndiaye. And I would start Reinders. I have VVD, says FIFA Bros. He says, and Caicedo on the bench. Do I play them or Xavi or Paro or Pedro? I would play Xavi and Paro. Guys, how can you bench someone versus Leeds? Again, I don't think Leeds have been horrific either, but... Why Kuna over Embuemo? I have all 3. Because Gakpo doesn't start this week, I think it's likely. Let me take a swig of my water, hold on. Best forward under 6.4 million as a 1 week punt. Lucas, I don't think you're exactly spoiled for choice. No problem. Why is there 2 West Ham fans in here? We got West Ham Z and we got Stan St. Irons. He says, thoughts on Paro and Calafiori to Burn and Gabriel next week. I do like it, for sure. I like those moves. Richards or VVD. Or VDV, sorry. Van de Ven. I would go Richards. Thoughts on triple captain Haaland this week, says FIFA Bros. I wouldn't do a away fixture. I've gone triple Arsenal fans. It feels right. I love that, Liam. It's bold. Yeah, going triple United attack is probably the equivalent to me of going to triple Arsenal defense for this particular game week. Quickly, FPL villains predicted Villa team. 95% chance of cash and 80% chance of Watkins. That's all I care about. What's crazy is that Rodgers is more likely to get more minutes or more chance of a start than Watkins. That's mad. Especially considering Rodgers played another 90. Alright, not on the timeline, lads. Get your questions in. West Ham are beating Arsenal 1-0. I hope you're right. Come on, big Nuno Espirito Santos. Newcastle defender or Matty Cash on free? I'd go Matty Cash. Be bold. Why not? It's one of the fixtures why I got him. Start Rodgers or Cash versus Burnley this week. Tom Bradley. Tough one. I'd go Rodgers for this game week though. That's a mad comparison. I know. Start 2 Caicedo, VVD. João Pedro, Reinders. Reinders and Virgil van Dijk. Henry, I disagree. I don't think Gusend is horrific. I think he's not been great, but I think he has potential. Choi, my bench this week is Dubravka, Reinders, Road and Esteve. Thoughts on bench boost? Not for me, man. Usually I'd be happy to bench boost with a full 4, but not that bench personally. Who do you bench out of Ndiaye, Doku and Reinders? I would bench... Oh, man. Doku's on some form. Ndiaye can pick up Defcon. I'm not answering that question, TY. I can't. I'll be giving you false information. Have you looked at top 10 teams in the world? I don't know what you mean by that. Kudos to Eze, no chance this week. Alright, I'm going to do another little scroll again. Not wanting to miss anything. 25 minutes until the deadline also. Let's keep refreshing. And let's quickly tweet the team actually while we're at it. Because I don't think Twitter is going to like this team very much. What overall are we, guys? We are currently 1,827. Again, proof in the pudding right there. I'm not lying to you guys, I promise. Let's make a tweet. Let's go overall. I put a little world emoji to let people know. Unless the replies on this are going to be nasty. What did we do? We done Gakpo to Mateus Cunha. Haaland captain. Let's put a little red devil, will we? And let's put this up one. Sorry guys, I know I'm doing this on stream and I should be answering your questions, but I want to look at some of the replies. I feel like it's going to be something. Rodgers or Reinders? Rodgers. Reinders to Foden or Eze? I would not be getting rid of Reinders this week. I don't think. I would be happy to just hold on to him. This is going to be a fun week. Let me put in brackets wildcard 8. No Arsenal, Triple United. Sorry lads, I'm just picking out my emoji, don't mind me. Actually so zoned out. Oh Lord, how has this come? I'm either seeing number 1 in the world or I'm seeing 1 millionth. Alright. We're locked in, lads. Apologies for that. I do apologise. Sorry for doing that on stream. Bench boost if I got the same team as you. What? Sorry, I didn't catch up. Why Cunha over Eze and Gordon? I think Cunha could do better in this individual game than Eze and Gordon. I think Cunha might get slightly more minutes than the pair also. Yormi Pino or Grealish? Grealish. Do you think Bruno will give the penalty to someone else? I do think so. I think it is likely. Because Mbeumo and Cunha are both great penalty takers. Is Gabriel essential this game week? No one is essential. Chai, did you make a free hit video? No, I didn't. Other captaincy than Haaland? Bruno. Eze will not start as Odegaard played really well in the week. Yeah, but he can play on the left instead of Martinelli. And to be honest, I hope he gets benched. Voldemar or Bruno this week? Bruno, sorry. Who'd I bench? Reinders, Kudus, and Gyökeres. Reinders. Hi Chai, was planning wildcard 13, but don't have Haaland or an Arsenal attacker to cap this week. Currently Timber captain and Watkins vice captain. Noah, what game are you playing? I thought I was crazy with the Triple United boys. Who's captain? I would go Watkins. Hesitantly, by the way. Alright, let's take a look and see if there are many unhappy campers on me bringing Cunha. Have you been watching United? Yeah, it didn't take long. I have indeed, my friend. I've been watching the same United you guys are seeing. I just hope it swings my way this week. Again, really not done anything special. Realistically, on a statistics point of view, I've picked the third highest projected goal scorer or goal contributor this game week. Like, all I need really is... Alright, first off, this is the most likely scenario. Okay, definitely not the most likely. This is the best case scenario, lads. Bruno wins an Mbeumo penalty and Mbeumo takes it. United keep a clean sheet. Bruno gets DEFCON. Bruno assists Kuna for a goal. Then what's that? Three of the boys on for bonus points. Lads, can you imagine the scenes if Kuna, Bruno, and Buemo get a 10-pointer? It would be talked about in universities to come as the years are going on. Like, that would be crazy. Anyway, I digress. Have you confirmed Triple United? Respect. No respect here, man. Nothing about the Triple United is respectable. Hi, brother. Would you start Pedro or Munoz this week? I would start Daniel Munoz. GGMU. For this week, GGMU. Is Triple Leeds and Triple Arsenal fence a good idea? What? Bowen to Mateta or Nick Voldemade? I would go Mateta. Gakpo or João Pedro? This game week, I think I'd be going Gakpo. What's mad is though, when weeks like this, people want to see the Triple United prevail. And to be honest, I just want Kuna to do well. I always want my transfer that I've done to do well, especially in a week where I'm dead ending. Keep or sell Rodgers? Keep for now. Senesi or Van de Ven this game week? This game week, I would probably go Van de Ven, honestly. Senesi is going to miss out at some point. Not to say it's going to be this week, but you're going to have a blast watching that United game. To be honest, I think it's going to be me hiding behind the couch. Again, like I said though, if Semenyo blanks this week, I'm happy. If Semenyo returns this week, there's going to be a lot of pressure on me owning Triple United. What are your early thoughts on Wildcard 8? My early thoughts are double Arsenal defence like usual. But Salah and Haaland. If we knew Mbeumo was a pen taker, it would be worth to go Bruno to Mbeumo, obviously, hypothetically. I guess for value, yes. And he's also quite good for bonus. Thoughts on Nick Voldemade? Good. I've always, since he came into the league, I've been a fan of Voldemade. Had him on my wildcard 4. What games are you looking forward to this game week? Well, not the United one. I'm looking forward to Spurs. I'm only ever really looking forward to Spurs, to be honest. Matoma out, Minta in. Good move. I do like Minta. How's Mbeumo been doing? Last week, underwhelming. In general, probably been United's second best player behind Matthäus de Ligt. Share the United stream link. Porro to start or no? Yeah, Porro I think will likely start. I must have the most differentials this game week. I probably have more differentials than people on Wildcard. Full team of differentials now. I don't know how I'm in the top 100k. It's actually insane. It is mental. Is getting Sesko a good idea? I mean, it's not the worst idea. Start Anthony or Reinders. Right, lads, I swear I've answered that question about 10 times. Gakpo to Eze. I like it, for sure. Thoughts on Calafiori and Timber? Yeah, I would go Calafiori. How should I start Sells or Dubravka? Decipher or Anderson? I would go Anderson and I would go to I might go Sells for the save points. Sells is a good shot stopper. Might pick up a few save points for sure. Thoughts on Bowen for wildcard along with Haaland and Gyökeres. I love it. He's been in one of my drafts. Been in one of my drafts for sure. Whether I go there or not, I'm unsure. Triple Leeds is my go differential. Interesting. Grealish out or hold? Who for if so? I do like Jan Kuba Minta. He got DEFCON last game also. Eze and Kuna or Saka and Minta. Free hit. Eze and Kuna. Surely you can free up the funds though to get Eze, Kuna and Saka. Hochai, would you bench boost Dubravka, Richards, Anderson stack? Ooh, it's in that territory where it's very close. I'm not going to give you a solid answer because I'm very unsure, Liam. Bubel says, if you didn't have Mbeumo, would you buy him over Kuna for a 1 week punt? No, I would go Kuna ahead of Mbeumo this week. Is in Kuna or Saka and Minta on free hit? I answered that already. I have 5.5 million in the bank for a defender. Already have Calafiori, Van de Ven. Who would you recommend? Long term? I mean, Senesi is the easy answer. Hi, Chai, I have a benching dilemma. Van de Ven or João Pedro? I'd play Van de Ven. Who knows what Pedro's minutes looks like this week? On free hit. Got Arsenal, Bournemouth, and Aston Villa defense. What keeper? 5 million or under. Thinking Pope or Petrovic. I would go Pope. Is Eze a good pick for Gakpo? Yep. Is he a minutes risk? A slight bit, but I still think he gets 75 plus. We have got 14 minutes until the deadline, lads. Do hit the like button and subscribe if you aren't ready, lads. And I hope you're ready for my transfer plans video where I'll be discussing a wildcard on the weekend. Tarkovsky and Lecree or Wood and Johnson? Tarkovsky and Lecree. Just got... Well, yeah, no. Tarkovsky and Lacroix, sorry. Just gone Virgil, Salomon to Timber, Gordon and Gyok, -4. Love that, Charlie. Voldemari or Sesko for Wood and play Wood. I think if it's for this singular game week, I'd go Sesko. I think if it's long term, I would obviously go Voldemari. Gordon or Kuna, again, it depends if you're talking long term. But I would go Gordon if it is long term. Hoichai says Sully, says start Gakpo or Brennan Johnson. I would start Gakpo. I don't know what the team is going to be for the left-sided winger for Spurs. I think we'll see Simmons in the 10 this week. Bench Anderson or Van Dijk? I'd bench Anderson. Shall can you explain why Calafiori over Gabby and Timber? He got benched midweek. Have you done a wildcard draft for next week based on current thoughts? Reese, I haven't, but it is coming. Don't worry. Stay tuned. Probably Sunday, I would say. Please lie to me if you need to. Who do you bench out of Enjoy, Toku, and Rounders? Okay, TY, I'll give you an answer. I would personally bench Rounders. Bench one of Anderson and Dorgu. Oh, that's tough. I would bench Anderson, though. Alright, another cheeky scroll on the timeline before we get back to some more of your questions, guys. Holy cow, good luck, Chai. Late change in the Solio analytics. Oh, Tielemans first. Sorry, I was confused for a second. I was so confused. Alright, more questions. Get them in. 10 minutes until the end of the stream. Saka for Kudus or Ndiaye? Saka for Ndiaye. It depends if it's long term or not, because I really like Kudus for this week. Nico to Senesi or any other defender or roll the transfer. Nico to Senesi if it's for free. Are you tempted by Simmons? I am tempted, and I think this is a good week for him, but he's not been there as of yet. I'd be more than happy to just still hold off a slight bit. Why Krupi for a sub? I don't want any of those defenders to sub in for me. Start 2 of Bowen, Xhaka, and Enzo. Bowen, Xhaka, Enzo. Bowen and Enzo. Play Pope or transfer to Raya? Play Pope, without a doubt. Bench Van de Ven or Caicedo? It's probably an easy 4 points for Caicedo. So I probably would just play Caicedo. It's close, like, it's really close. João Pedro or Richards to start? I would start Richards. Hi Chai, Gakpo or João Pedro? Gakpo. Forest have been awful, I agree. Sanchez or Carl Darlow? Sanchez. Bench one of Van de Ven, Senesi, Lacroix or Van Dijk? That is tough. In that case, I would bench Van Dijk. Barely, though. It is really close. Start 3 of Evan Nilsson, Simmons, and then Reinders. And then Di. I would bench Evan Nilsson. Should I triple captain this week or delay? Delay. Hey, mate, says JM. Hello, JM. How are you? Salah to Saka for 1 game week. No, I wouldn't. I'd be more than happy to play Salah versus Chelsea. Gabriel or Senesi long term? Long term, it has to be Gabriel. 2 different players though at 2 different price points, so they're hard to compare. Who to start? Josh King or Elliot Anderson? Elliot Anderson easily. Play João Pedro or Reinders? Reinders. Play Porro or Anderson? Probably Porro. Again, very close, lads. Very little in these decisions. No bench boost, bro. Nothing to bench boost for myself this game week. Maybe 9 or 10 I'll be looking to bench boost. Why no love for João Pedro? Who else are Chelsea going to start? I think he'll do well versus Liverpool defence. Charlie, it's not necessarily anything to do with João Pedro. I just think we're likely to see reduced minutes. Don't get me wrong, Liverpool have been quite leaky, but in the bigger games, especially away, what we see from the big 6 teams is they play quite pragmatic and slow and try play with a bit more control. So I don't imagine Liverpool are going to try to anything too hectic versus Chelsea, even though they have been a bit leaky in defence. I have Richarlison. Would you keep for one game? Yes, absolutely I would. Cuckoo to Calafiori for a one game week punt. Yes. Bring in 1 week. Sarr, Minta, or Gordon? Gordon. I'm doing alright. And Noir, how are you? I took off Shalaba and Murillo for Timber and Calafiori. Love that. Wildcard next game week. Should I play Richards over Rutter? No, I would play Rutter. Royce or Eze, Mr. Chai? I mean, I guess it's easy. I'd go Eze, but I'm hoping Eze blanks at this point, so do let me know what you do. How confident are you with Sanchez over Dubravka? For me, Toft, there's very little in it. I see both teams conceding 2 goals. So I'm just going for the save points, which I think Sanchez is more likely to get. So to answer your question, how confident I am, not very, because it could swing either way. Would you keep Watkins on wildcard this week before transferring out next week? Would you keep Watkins on wildcard this week before... Wildcard for this week before transferring out next week? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't keep Watkins in that case. Now, he could still bang, but it's not worth locking in transfers a week in advance on wildcard. 8 minutes until the deadline, lads. Do like and subscribe. Let me know how many likes we're on. The goal is, of course, 200. Start Reinders or Pedro? I personally will be starting Reinders. Bench Juve or Esteve? I would be benching Esteve. Is Senesi good for long term? Absolutely is. Without a doubt. Start Royce or Ndiaye? Iliman Ndiaye. Saying that, this could be the week Royce returns, but I would play Ndiaye. Rodgers or Evanilson? Easily Rodgers. Reinders or Sarr? Long term Sarr, in general Reinders. Verts for Semenyo or Gordon for a 1 week punt. It's not very punty going from Verts to Semenyo or Gordon, but if I had to choose, probably Gordon. Hi, Shay, would you start Josh King or Elliot Anderson? Elliot Anderson. Virgil van Dijk to Gabriel this week. I don't mind it. If you're not on wildcard next week, no. I think I'd hold on to Virgil. Start 2 of Reinders, João Pedro and Caicedo. I would start Reinders and Caicedo. Again, it's really hard for me to consistently tell everyone to bench Pedro, but it's what I would do. If you had to have one in your team between Konsa or Truffert. This game week, though, who would I have? Konsa. I love Truffert, though, Johnny. Yeah, a lot of people wish João Pedro and Reinders. That seems to be quite template. Alright, let's have a look at some more, if we've got any more comments. Best luck, Chai. I'll get back to this after the stream. Good to see, though, my internet has held up and the hotspot is doing enough. Got to run. Be lucky, people, says Davis. Best of luck, Davis. Thank you again for joining us. Hey, Chai, answer that. Start Richarlison or João Pedro? Richarlison, easily. Gotta play the fixtures. 60% of you are not after using the wildcard already. 340 votes as well. That's really interesting. W stream as usual. 80k overall. Thank you. Thanks to you. I wouldn't thank me, lads. At the end of the day, guys, you guys are the ones who are confirming the transfers. Let me quickly refresh my page, by the way, to make sure the transfers are indeed locked in. Imagine I didn't make the move. I'd be raging. Yeah, looks like we're golden. And the captaincy is indeed locked in. Kelleher or Sells? Cool. Sells, I guess. Tough one. Captain Kuna, don't love it. Yo, Chai, you have nice teeth. How much did you invest in your teeth? I actually only got braces. So they're not fake, like. But thank you. Very nice compliment as usual. Joven says W Chai, thank you. How many points do you take from your Man United players? I would take 20 points. I'm definitely not the best FPL YouTuber by far. There's definitely better content out there, but if you do like me for me, I really do appreciate it, lads. Thoughts on Eze as a one week punt? He's the other one I was going to go to, so I like him. Start Cucurella or Dorgu versus Sunderland? Dorgu without a doubt. Minoz and Richards or play Williams for one of them? I would play Minoz and Richards. Chess footy, I would start Reinders. 4 minutes until the deadline, lads. Get locked in. See our little scroll in case we miss anything. Don't think we're going to get anything important though. I can't wait to hit the wildcard button, lads. 4 free transfers to Game Week 8. Love that, Oscar, man. That's some team. Try whether bench one of Tarkovsky or Richarlison. Oh, that is tough, Crisis. I would bench Tarkovsky. That's just me chasing the upside, though. Van Dijk, Van de Ven, Lacroix. Who to start? Start Lacroix. Your captain Foden this week. Best of luck. Sanchez for Raya. Yes. Saka a solid option for 1 game week. Yes. Tota and Gordon for Verts for a point before a wild card next week. A punt, I assume you mean. Gordon for Verts is a great move. Van de Ven or VDV would be a Spurs triple up. I would play Van Dijk. Pedro or Evanilson, tough. That's really close. I would say João Pedro in that case. Tarkovsky or Lacroix? Lacroix. Please talk me out of Timber, captain. Noah, man. Come on. Other options, Salah, Watkins, Gordon. I would go Salah, man. Sells or the Boravka? Sells. Start Dorgu or Gehi? Gehi. Oh, I lied, lads. I would go Dorgu. Sorry, Jonas. I would go Dorgu. I read that wrong. Pedro or Ndiaye? Ndiaye for the DEFCON. And penalties. We're almost there, lads. Only 3 minutes until the deadline, and then I'll be activating my wildcard about 45 minutes after. Gordon or Voldemade on a free hit? Gordon, without a doubt. We love you, Chai. Thank you, Crisis. Appreciate the kind words. I hope you've been liking the consistency, lads. Again, laptop coming next week, so I'm going to increase the production for all of you. Stay tuned, lads. You're going to want to keep eyes on this channel, specifically if we get another green this week. Best of luck, everyone, says Tough, myself included. No Arsenal assets, which is going to be a tough watch. Cheers, lads. Thank you for that. No worries, man. So yeah, lads, I'm going to wrap it up in just a second. I just want to say thank you again, lads, regardless of what happens this game week. I mean, I'm hoping, and I'm quite hopeful of a big green arrow. But you never know, of course. It mightn't go our way. But imagine, lads, we get into the top 50k or so in with wildcard 8. If we get a green arrow this week and we're on wildcard, lads, who knows what our rank could be come the end of the season. But yeah, let me not talk too early because there's still so much time. In this singular game week, I could easily drop down to 500k or 1 million rank due to how risky I seem to be playing. And there are a lot of rank killers like Semenyo, like Senesi, and also the likes of Arsenal assets like Gabriel Raya and everyone on wildcard. Last week it didn't hurt my rank too much because I'm currently that many places above, but this week I will see a big hurt in my rank, I think. So let's see how it plays out. Right now, quite confident going into the week. I'd be lying to you if I wasn't. Again, the fixtures are there. I've got, like, look at that front seven, lads. I mean, I think it is good on paper. Sure, United have been poor, but I feel like this game week, even though they've been poor, they can turn it, not necessarily around, but they can still pick up the attacking numbers that we've seen in the first 6 game weeks. So, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Do, as usual, like before you go. And if you aren't somehow already subscribed, do hit the subscribe button. Thank you for all of you who've joined me, and especially to all my channel members. Shout out to all you FPL Tough, Crisis, Anish, anyone else is here. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely Archer. And as usual, lads, stay tuned for my transfer plans video. Coming probably Sunday, I want to say. It's going to be a big one, and I plan on making a few videos over the international break. So, best of luck as usual, lads, and I will see you in the next.